Coastals at 5, 6, and 11. Only on News 4.
Are aliens out there? On the Roseanne files, you'll meet a man who says he's been abducted repeatedly by extraterrestrials.
As we approached the craft, the man with this rod put it toward us, and a beam of light came out, and we were paralyzed and taken aboard the craft.
They're basically taking your DNA forcibly, and you're mating with some creature.
The truth is on the next Roseanne show.
They speak telepathically, mind to mind, eye to eye. There were lights on this craft, and it was barely above treetop level, and it was just coming over. It was the most astonishing thing I have ever seen.
Looked like a cigar shape, and it was lit from both ends, just real bright, right down below the treetop level.
I got to do a show about this. Hi. Well, what if you woke up at night and you found an alien creature probing you in your most intimate places? That ever happened to you, sir? What if you discovered strange objects implanted in your body? That ever happened to you? Well, not earrings. No. You have an implant? Oh, my God, this stuff is really happening. It's so freaky. Okay, let me ask you people here in the audience, how many of you believe in UFOs? Wow, that's a lot. How many of you are afraid of people who believe in UFOs? Okay. Now, is there anybody out there who's been abducted by an alien besides me? Luckily, I was able to divorce mine. But you got abducted? Okay, so we'll be talking to you. I think this stuff is really scary, and on today's show, we're going to launch our own probe into UFOs and alien abductions. Implants and all that weird alien sex stuff that you can't talk about on daytime television, but we're going to talk about it anyway. This is like the Roseanne files. Actually, the number of UFO sightings has increased according to the National UFO Reporting Center. Yes, there is such a place. There were more UFO sightings in the past 2 years than there were for all the previous years that they've been keeping statistics going back to 1943. And the government is not explaining hundreds of sightings, weird lights blazing across the sky and all that. The truth is, people are seeing something, and they're feeling something, too. And on today's show, we got this guy who's been abducted over 100 times and claims to have fathered more than 30 alien children. We have a hypnotherapist who helps abductees remember their experiences. And we also have two of the top UFOologists in the world, Dr. Frank Rule and author-investigator Bud Hopkins. And we also have me. Thank you. And I am an alien. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff first. My first guest claims he has been abducted by aliens since he was 5, and he says what he's experienced is unbelievably traumatic and terrifying. So please welcome Jesse Long. So Jesse, the first time this happened to you, you were 5 years old?
Yes.
Can you tell us about it? What happened?
My brother, who's 17 months younger than I am, was 4 at the time. We were playing in the sandbox behind our house in Rogersville, Tennessee, and a man appeared on the hill behind the house, and I just knew I was supposed to go up there.
Was it just like a regular man?
He wasn't a regular man. He was a strange-looking man.
Strange-looking? How strange-looking?
He was tall and dark, very robotic-like, and he had a long rod in his arm.
And you just felt compelled to go there?
Compelled to go.
Okay, so you took your brother with you?
I was afraid to go by myself, so I took John by his hand, and we went up on the hill, and we came up what looked like a round house under construction, which was really
A round house under construction?
It was a downed craft, and there were small beings working around it, and as we approached the craft, the man with this rod put it toward us, and a beam of light came out, and we were paralyzed and taken aboard the craft. And my brother got to go into a room and play games and play with toys, and they took me into another room and did medical procedures on me, and he remembers hearing me screaming and crying in the next room.
What'd you think? What'd you think had happened? Did you think you had a nightmare or what?
Well, it took me until 1989 to finally figure out what had happened. I mean, this has been occurring to me 2 to 3 times a year since I was 5. And growing up that way, you have to wonder yourself, you know, am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? Is there something wrong with me? Do I have a brain tumor? And none of that was the case. And
Well, what was the medical procedure that they did on you?
they inserted this object in the front of my left leg.
Yeah.
It was a crystal. It looks like a shard of glass. It was in my leg for 34 years. And I finally had it surgically removed.
Now, did you know it was in your leg for 34 years?
Yes, because it hurt.
It hurt for 34 years, but you didn't
Constantly.
go to the doctor and have them take it
No.
out? Why? Were you afraid to take it out?
As a child, they told my brother and me, don't ever talk about this. It was almost a threat, you know, don't ever mention this. So as a child, you learn to keep your mouth shut.
But like when you're 34, like you're in your 20s and you got something hurting in your leg, you don't go to the doctor then?
Well, every time, strangely enough, I was never really sick with this object in my leg until it was removed.
But you knew it was there and it didn't bug you that it was there?
No, it bugged me that it was there.
But you were afraid to take it
My
out?
sock always hurt. I always had to keep my socks below the area.
But you didn't want to take it out, or maybe you didn't think it could come out, or what?
Every time I was at a doctor, and I planned on telling him about this object while I was there, once I got to the doctor, it never entered my mind.
So it's like a programming kind of, you feel like it was a programming thing that you weren't supposed to tell, and so you didn't.
Because this thing has been analyzed.
Okay, so take us up to that point. So they remove it from your leg in what year?
May of '89.
And it was put in what year?
Summer '57.
Okay, and so summer '57, they take this thing out in '89, and what was it?
It's a crystal-like object. It shows up on X-ray, and glass is not supposed to show up on an X-ray.
Yeah.
Glass also is an insulator of electricity. This thing conducts electricity.
Yeah.
And this thing can also modulate radio frequencies.
And then when you got it taken out, you started getting sick?
Yes. I started having panic attacks, high blood pressure, thyroid problems, and I had really never been sick as a child.
So you think they put it in there, what, to like...
It's possible that part of its purpose was to keep me healthy.
Now, do you think you're nuts? Do you think you're crazy? Do people believe you?
For 34 years, I thought I was insane. But I've gone through traditional therapy. I never had any child abuse. There was no other kind of childhood trauma in my past.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about it more because now I have to hear about... They took your sperm, forcefully took your sperm, and you got 30 kids out there that are half alien. I gotta talk about that one after this commercial. They're not going to take me, are they?
If you come spend the night with me, they might.
Do they take Jews? I don't think they take Jews. We'll be back after this commercial. I don't think they take Jews. You will not be... Okay, you're going to...
And the winner is... Which giggle won a whopping $50,000? Got a gift for rapping? Well, she did, and she won $10,000. Isn't that amazing? Can you bake a cake? Well, it could make you a millionaire. One cake. Your home videos could be worth $100,000. How to win big prizes and big cash. Plus, how did those 60 Island men do on their dating game date?
Really, really hard.
Next, Oprah.
Today at 4 here on Channel 4.
Looking to make your chicken a little more lively? Why not rediscover the crisp, juicy taste that is only shake and bake chicken? Now there's something your family can sink their teeth into. Shake and bake really shakes up chicken.
The gray wolf, also called the timber wolf, is about 3 feet tall and weighs approximately 100 pounds.
We're not talking about that wildlife. We're talking about your wildlife.
29, 30, 31, 32, 33,
Call now to get a free caller ID box and order caller ID from Bell Atlantic.
36.
With caller ID, you can see who's calling before you pick up the phone, so you can decide to take the call now or return it later. So save like wild on caller ID. Call Bell Atlantic at 1-800-399-5470. The caller ID box stores the names and numbers of callers, even if they hang up or don't leave a message.
27.
It can even work with call waiting.
28. That's definitely for you.
Call 1-800-399-5470 and enter to win one of 10 wild vacations, each worth $25,000, and also get a free caller ID box. So order caller ID now and save like wild from Bell Atlantic.
You will not be...
That's pretty traumatic.
Yes.
Were you were getting hypnotized or something to remember things that happened to you?
Yes, that was a particularly bad abduction. They were actually forcing me to crossbreed with a female creature, and at that moment they had placed her on top of me, and I couldn't deal with that.
So they're basically, taking your DNA forcibly, and you're mating with some creature. What does the creature look like?
The only way to describe it, I saw a photograph in a newspaper once of a starving Somalia woman, just skin and bones, very dark. And that is the closest image I have ever seen of what this creature looked like.
Really? So it looked kind of human, but not?
Yes. And in fact, when it was on top of me, I was just hoping and praying that this thing wasn't real.
Did you were hoping it was a nightmare or something? But what about, well, they showed you all these kids that are like half yours, right? What about that? You have 30 half Somalian alien. What's that about? You have all these offspring.
By the time I was 12, I knew I had children, which is strange for a 12-year-old to know that. But during my abductions, they kept showing me these babies, and they kept saying, these are your children. And I said, no, that's not my child. I know how babies are made, and I haven't done that. And over the years, I've just seen so many.
So over the years, they've showed you numerous children. Do they look like you at all?
Well, I was born white-headed, very thin, very pale, and the children are very thin, very pale, white hair, large human eyes. They're not the big almond eyes. In fact, I've never seen a creature with these big almond eyes.
So, well, do they look like her? Do they look like the mom, or you more?
No, well, I can't say whether they look like the mom or not.
Does it look like a good mix between both of you?
Thank God, when they laid her on me, her head was to my side, and I didn't want to see her face.
Now, why couldn't they take your sperm in another way, though?
Well, they do.
They do?
Yeah. But when she was on top of me, I managed, with all my strength, even being paralyzed, to push her off of me. When I did, she clawed my arm, and she left 3 claw marks on my arm, which I have a photograph of.
Has it stopped? They still come after you? Isn't there nothing you can do?
I've tried videotaping myself sleeping. I've tried...
What about a big fat gun?
I have one.
You got a gun? Did you ever shoot them or anything?
Well, see...
Why don't you shoot them? I mean, you're like legally within your rights, I'm sure, even in the universe. All over the universe, you can protect yourself against people that break in your house.
Well, see, when they abduct me,
yeah,
they know they have to paralyze me because they know I would kill everyone I could get my hands on. They know me enough.
And you think if somebody else was in the room and they had a big old AK-47 or something, they'd paralyze them too,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that you just feel helpless, like
Yes.
there's nothing you can do?
Nothing you can do.
Well, what are you doing? How can you live your life with no free will at all? How can you bear that?
You create your own happiness. You learn to find out who your true friends are. You have family support. You have supportive friends. You have your belief in yourself that you will survive this and get through it.
Oh my God, I am not going to listen to this. Just another crappy thing about self-esteem. Aliens are coming and stealing your sperm, man. Come on. You don't just like get self-esteem and combat it like that. You got to get a gun or you got to get an army or something. Do you ever call up the president and tell him to give you some troops? How come you don't call the president?
I don't want to talk to that
Anyway,
man.
after this commercial, we're going to meet a woman who's made it her life's work to help Jesse and other abductees. But why don't you go get, like, who could you get? Could you call the CIA or?
The front of the car is white with light, and there's something over to the right in the car.
Oh, I think I'm in love. Ouch. I'm going over there. Yeah, me too. Nah, she's not my type.
What are you, crazy? She's perfect. Do not ruin this for us.
You guys can go over if you want, but I'm staying right here.
Middleman getting in the way? At Geico Auto Insurance, there is no middleman, so a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more.
Excuse us. We lost our phone number. We have yours?
I was stranded in a department store. Stranded. I only wore pads. Jamie only had tampons. Playtex Gentle Glide. I'm thinking, right, like this is going to be comfortable. And Jamie says, and those bulky pads are?
Playtex Gentle Glide's protection is really comfortable. Its unique design adjusts to custom fit your body.
I couldn't even feel them. Go back to pads? I don't think so.
Playtex Gentle Glide tampons, day or night.
So comfortable, you can't even feel them.
I was getting married. I didn't want to be a fat bride. I lost 39 pounds on the Slim Fast plan. I've kept it off for 3 years, and I still fit into my wedding dress. I feel on top of the world. I take care of myself. I eat right, and I have Slim Fast for lunch every day. It's delicious. It helps keep me looking like this.
23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
I feel wonderful.
Slim Fast every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
I did it. You can do it.
This just in, Jenny Craig announces the next generation of weight loss, perhaps their best program ever, with no prepackaged meal purchase required.
Sources say it's the most affordable Jenny Craig program ever, because there's no prepackaged meal purchase required. Sounds great, doesn't it, Mary? Mary? Let's go live to Ted.
Everyone's going to Jenny Craig for their new program with no prepackaged meal purchase required.
It's your last chance to lose 19 pounds for $19 plus the cost of supplements. Call 1-800-99-JENNY.
That's the old me. This is the new me. Wow, incredible. I'm thin for the first time in my life. It's wonderful.
LA Weight Loss, revolutionizing the way people lose weight.
I saw the commercials. A woman who had lost like 104 pounds in 9 months. And I was like, huh, that's what I need to do. I've changed my life, changed my eating habits, changed my wardrobe. Plus size is out the door.
$6 a week. Call for your free consultation. LA Weight Loss Centers, 1-800-526-SLIM.
Yeah, it's one of the silhouettes. He just looked right at me.
You see his face?
Just his eyes. Oh, he stabbed me in the head. He had a rod and he put it right in my right temple. Oh, jeez.
Man. My next guest is the woman whose voice you heard on that tape. using hypnotherapy. She's dedicated her life's work to helping people who claim to have been abducted by aliens. Say hello to Yvonne Smith. I was just sitting here thinking about what I would do, and like I was going, okay, garlic. Did you try garlic? Garlic don't work.
That only works on vampires.
Okay, this crucifix, you said that doesn't work either? Like religious symbols, nothing stops it. What is this really about? I mean, there's so many people who have had this experience, right? There's books. I mean, even if we want to laugh about it and then go to E.T. and all the other movies that, like, we're drawn to, we know something that we aren't talking about, don't we?
That's why Bud and I, all my colleagues do shows like this, Roseanne, is this has to be brought out in the open. We have to talk about this more because something extraordinary is happening.
It's in our unconscious mind, but we can't bring it to the...
The problem is that if people really stop and study these cases about what's been going on, about the correlations that we've been seeing, the patterns that we've established, it is extremely frightening because something extraordinary is happening to perhaps millions of people all over the world.
Tell us about the family connection.
It's intergenerational. We find that a person is not the only one abducted in that family. It's either the mother, the father, the grandmother.
Was someone before you abducted?
Just my brother and I. I don't know about my parents.
See, sometimes I try to interview as many family members, Roseanne, to establish that family pattern.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, many times the family members are deceased, but I try to establish and keep establishing that family pattern.
Is it the same in a lot of the people you see? They have these traumatic sexual memories?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And it's not, and we have to get away from calling it sexual and sexy, and it's all sex because it is, and it's very clinical.
Right.
Yes, they do take sperm samples. Yes, they take ova, but it's very clinical. Whoever they are, these, we'll call them aliens for lack of a better term, have their own agenda.
Right, that we don't understand?
We don't understand.
Do you want to conjecture anything? Do you want to, like, do you have any theories? Or, I mean, you've got to have some theories, right? You don't just, like, accept it. You got to think it means something,
We know that there is a breeding program being conducted with aliens and humans.
You know that there's a breeding program with aliens and humans?
In our studies, in our data, we're finding that people that are abducted, our sperm is taken, the ova is taken. They're shown, as Jesse had described earlier, they're shown babies, as we call hybrids, half alien, half human.
So he's not the only one who has this story?
Absolutely not.
There's a lot of stories like?
Yes, and that's the frightening part, the correlations. My colleague Bud, who's out here from New York, he and I get together at conferences. Sometimes I think I have a very strange case. And then he'll sit there and say, oh, yeah, I have several of those.
Well, do you ever think that you just have, like, a lot of nut people that are absolutely out of their minds and nuts? Do you ever think of that?
I'll tell you, Roseanne, I wish I had the luxury of saying that now and walking away from this. I don't have that luxury anymore. In my hypnotherapy practice, I have worked with commercial airline pilots, medical doctors, people in the film industry, in the television industry, people from all walks of life. Now, all these people cannot be crazy.
Right.
And I asked the audience...
maybe it means something that we're missing because we're trying to apply human logic to it. Maybe that's where we're wrong. Maybe it's something altogether different.
And who can, I mean, that's all we have right now.
Yeah.
But it's up to, our government won't go near this, the scientists won't go near this, so it's up to myself and my colleagues to study this.
Now, are these kids walking around on Earth?
Well,
where are they?
That I can't say at this point. The frightening part of all of this is we don't know where these children are going to be.
Do you have any ideas for why they want our sperm and our eggs? What are they trying to breed?
Well, perhaps they're unable to reproduce themselves, and so obviously they're coming to us for something. We have something that they need, that they want.
Yeah.
We're hoping that we'll get some definite answers at some point in our lifetime.
Right.
But I think it's very important to continue talking about this, bringing this out in the open, because the ridicule factor, I think, is
the ridicule
a shame.
factor. Yeah, the shame factor.
People cannot most of my clients can't come forward.
Well, because we can't conceive of it, it's just too
Right.
weird.
They couldn't do this show.
But we have people in the audience who've been abducted, too, and we're going to be talking to them. We're going to take a commercial right now. And next, I will introduce you to 2 UFO experts who've been trying to make some sense out of this whole thing. Back in a minute.
Do you have what it takes to be our rookie reporter? You are between the 1st and 8th grade. Send us a postcard with the name of your favorite Sabre and a question for that player to 2077 Elmwood Avenue, Buffalo, and you could be our rookie reporter.
Hi, I'm Lisa Scott. Would you like to look and feel more fit? Well, we're packing the week full of valuable information, like how to shop smart and check the labels when you go grocery shopping. And is it safe to pop diet pills? We'll get a doctor's view on both prescription and over-the-counter products. Learn how to work stress relief into your new lifestyle by exercising with children. And one of Western New York's top chefs shows us how to make a delicious fish recipe. So get fit with 4 in February on News 4 at 5.
Goya beans bring the right taste together, that bring your family together for more goodness in every meal.
Superman's Margot Kidder, 70s sitcom star Mackenzie Phillips, and super freak Rick James. They had it all, then hit rock bottom.
At this time, we believe the woman our officers found is Margot Kidder, who appeared dirty, frightened, paranoid.
Find out how they bounced back.
Was having a stroke God trying to say something to you?
Celebrities Start Over, next Roseanne Show.
A UFO streaking through the atmosphere at perhaps 10,000 miles per hour, making an abrupt 90-degree turn and shooting out to space at possibly triple that speed. And a laser beam appeared to have been shot at it. May the power of the cosmos be with you! Yes!
With us now are 2 of the most renowned experts in UFOs in the country. Bud Hopkins is a respected UFOologist, has written several books on the subject. And Dr. Franklin Rule is a physicist and a UFOologist who spent his life investigating UFOs and other unexplained phenomena. Are you an alien? You look like a... Are you one?
No, but I want to just, since you mentioned that, there's the concept of the star people that was enunciated by the well-known ufologist Brad Steiger. And one idea is that ETs are picking as abductee victims entities who had been on a planet in a past life. In other words, in a past incarnation, they had been ETs, or else their ancestors had been halflings, half human and half alien, and that's why these individuals are selected, perhaps because their genetic profile.
Okay, because they're coming back to check
Yes.
who they left a long, long time ago.
So that's just not random choice. It's possibly a genetic profile, and possibly a psychological profile, or possibly this alien link in their history that they may not even be aware of.
Do you think that?
Not at all.
Well, you said you didn't think they were even from outer space.
This is a personal experience.
Yeah.
For me, most of my abductions I'm taken either underground in caves or cave-like surroundings.
Yeah.
And I believe they were here before we were. I think they genetically altered Cro-Magnon man and Neanderthal and created each generation, including us, and I think that's what they're doing. They're genetically altering us to survive the next 2,000 years.
So you think they're like our benefactors?
I think we are the aliens, that they have created us.
I think you're right. I can totally hear that, because we are aliens. We don't get along with the Earth.
Right.
We ruin and pollute it. We are aliens. I mean, think about it. Right?
Just following up on that.
Yeah.
There is no way that geneticists can account for man's bipedalism. In other words, we did not evolve from the quadrupedal apes or other creatures.
Right.
This is a theory from Dr. Thomas Dorman, who is a renowned expert on this.
You're saying there's no way we came from monkeys?
That's right. That our human back, our bipedalism, just has no explanation, and therefore there could be the influence of aliens on our genetic structure perhaps 5 million years ago. Then he mentioned Cro-Magnon man. Again, There's no evidence for Cro-Magnon men. He suddenly appeared out of nowhere with a larger brain and then assumed dominance over the existing Neanderthals. And again, anthropologists cannot solve either of those mysteries. That leads to the possibility of alien intervention. In other words, as he said, they may be our benefactors.
Roseanne, one thing I think to get this back in focus here, there are 1,000 theories as to who they are, where they came from, time travelers. I've heard it all at one point or another, none of which we can really prove, and many of them are interesting and make a lot of sense. But if you pick this up solely by what is happening to people, what they're reporting that they've gone through, what the physical marks are on their bodies after these events, when a UFO lands, it can smash the tree branches down from the top. The soil is baked underneath, almost to a rock-like hardness.
Now, do we see evidence of this?
Absolutely, absolutely extraordinary physical evidence.
But the government, like,
well, the government, I think, is stuck with this problem. Whatever little branch of the government that knows about it. I've always said that if all a president could say is, ladies and gentlemen, they're here, they can outfly anything we have, they're abducting our citizens on a regular basis, they're not communicating with us, we don't know what their ultimate goal is, whether they'll be friendly or not. Finally, we'll let you know when we hear more about it. Thank you and good night. I always say I would rather be in the liquor business at that point than, say, the bond market or the real estate. You're kind of stuck if you don't have anything to say that can really finally put people at ease.
Well, do you think it has anything to do with the year 2000?
No.
Is something big going to happen there and we all unconsciously know it?
The year 2000 doesn't really mean a lot around the world to different cultures that don't have, but they don't have the year 2000 mean anything. In other words, the year 2000 means something to us.
But in a lot of cultures it does.
Yeah, in some it does, and some it doesn't.
But Roseanne, there's the event coming up, 5/5/2000, that you'll start hearing more about after we get to the millennium. And that is when there will be an alignment of 5 planets and the moon, which could cause earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, possibly even a crustal shift or pole reversal. And that would be absolutely devastating to our planet. So perhaps the aliens are watching, monitoring this. Perhaps they're going to take action to protect us. Or perhaps they just want to see what happens to the human race when faced with such possibilities. I don't think this will occur because we had this previous with the Jupiter effect. But in case it does, that could account for this influx in UFO sightings during the past 2 years.
So 4 million Americans alone, what? What do you...
That's not so. That figure is wrong. And I had something to do with that figure getting to be known. I was involved in a survey through the Roper organization a number of years ago with some sociologists and investigators and psychologists and so forth. And we asked questions about unusual personal experiences, a list of them, that would suggest if you said, yes, I've had X, Y, and Z happen to me, that person may be an abductee. And we came up with a figure in excess of 3 million people who said yes to these particular core indicator experiences.
So you don't
but that doesn't prove anything.
You don't believe that people are getting abducted. You just think something's happening to people.
No, I'm totally convinced people are getting abducted.
Well, do you have any theories as to why they're doing that?
Well, the genetic theory that's been talked about here, I think is exactly it. They seem to be at some kind of evolutionary dead end. Now, that's theory.